Hi, this is Bob Brown and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is my dog Charlie. He's a Nova Scotia duck-toed retriever, and this is being recorded on the last day of the year of 2016. CBS News, which is one of the last reliable mainstream media sources around, they had an article today about on their YouTube channel about a Vermont computer at electrical station had Russian malware on it, and the way the article was construed, it led you to believe that somehow the Russians had deliberately done that. Now, I've been in the computer field my whole life, since I was 17 years old, and I've been in it almost 40 years. The first viruses I encountered were on Macintoshes off floppy disks at a community college up in Cleveland, Ohio. And at the time, when I told them, hey, I think this is some type of computer virus, this is the mid-80s, I was accused by the dean of actually planting the virus on there to make money. And this was in the very, very early days of McAfee. And McAfee had created a detection system for these viruses. And I was able to get a hold of this through a bulletin board system, get it onto a floppy disk and clean up the virus mess. So I've had a long, twisted history with computer viruses. And the Israelis and the CIA, of course, created Stuxnet, which got on the Iranian nuclear centrifuges and caught the spin erratically and destroy them. This is the real problem. I think in the case of the Burlington, Vermont electrical power supply, you had a kind of a standard case of a laptop getting malware on it, and it may be in Russian, which I'm probably sure it is. I'm not sure the Russians had, like Vladimir Putin, had anything to do with it. It's possible, can't rule it out, but really it comes down to you need better security. And right now, people are not secure in their systems. The simplest thing to do for any larger size organization is just get McAfee or Norton or any of the major antivirus, anti-malware companies, get them on your computers, get them centrally managed, like McAfee's EPO server, centrally manage it. But remember, no one system is going to protect you. So that's just part of it. Critical infrastructure systems in your business or your home, they shouldn't be on the internet unless there's a really compelling reason. I'll give you an example. I would not buy a stove, a furnace, or a dryer, anything with heating elements that could cause fire or damage, or anything with motors. You should be very wary of having them remote controllable, because someone could hack it, turn on your oven to 500 degrees, set your house on fire, or make your dryer run until the motor burns out. Maybe it just burns out the motor, maybe it sets your house on fire. So these are real world case scenarios. And I've been warning industry for years now of the danger, since Stuxnet, of viruses getting into PLCs, programmable logical controllers, CNCs. CNC machines control large robotic machinery that makes parts for, Ford Motor Company, Toyota, and up to medical supplies. Any of these systems have got to be on segmented LANs, and there's got to be a real compelling reason why they need to be directly accessible from the internet. If they need to be, it could be as simple as having a data connection via an Ethernet cable that you can plug and unplug if needed. If someone says, hey, I need remote access, the IT people would be told through a control mechanism. You go to the help desk, say, hey, the outside people want access. I'm plugging this in as of 8 a.m. this morning. It'll be unplugged as of 10 a.m. this morning. Those simple systems can go a long way in protecting you against cyber incursion. You have to create these human firewalls. I call them human firewalls. If you don't, eventually a critical piece of equipment is going to get hacked, because malware and viruses only getting sophisticated. Back in the 1980s, I was amazed that a Bulgarian program had somehow got to Lorain Community College in Cleveland, Ohio in the 1980s, when there is really no internet as we understand it now, and was able to infect those computers. Somebody might have brought it in, someone thought it was funny, they were experimenting with it, you don't know. But somehow a virus created in Bulgaria in the 1980s traveled all the way to Cleveland, Ohio, and infected a lab at a community college. So it's everywhere now, and the viruses are permeating everywhere. Problem is, the majority of households and businesses are not protected. So here's a couple things, and I'll go over some more videos over the year. One, don't put anything on a computer or internet that you're not, if it gets on the internet or gets out, could damage you, your business, or your reputation. If you put it on a computer, there's chances it'll get out. If you have stuff on your computer, encrypt it. Use a zip program, encrypt it with 256K, put a password on it that you know, write the password down, lock it in a password vault or just a case in your house, so that if something happens, someone other than you can get into it. Make sure only people who know how to get into that can. So if I have to send a message to someone, type it in Word, encrypt it with a zip program, and then email it through Gmail after you turn on two-step authentication. And I have a video on two-step authentication. Set up your two-step authentication and you can send your message. Now, if the Russians intercept it, can they get into it? Yeah, even with 256 they'll get into it. But again, there's only so much you can do. But if you do two-step authentication, you protect who gets access to your Gmail or your web account, you'll be ahead of the game. John Podesta's email was a Gmail account that got hacked. I doubt he had two-step authentication turned on. If he had two-step authentication turned on Gmail, which is free, I don't think they'd have got into it. They'd have access to his phone, and they'd have access to that password. So you have the password, you have to have the possession of the device to get in. So all the controversy around Podesta's email and the effect on the election that everyone's yelling about, that's really on them. Their IT department and the individual should turn on two-step authentication. And then I never uncheck it. Now on my phone I do. So that would be the way to do it. So this has been Bob Brown, just a quick update on the CBS News Report. Hope this has been of some help. Hey, have a happy New Year.